Alright, so my iPad says 7 o'clock, and that says 7:03. So, anyways, it's Monday, January 22nd, 2018 at 7 o'clock, and I'll call the meeting to order, and we'll stand for a moment of silent reflection. Is there any declaration of peculiar interest or general nature thereof? Deputy Stockman?
On the accounts payable for January, the CAO treasurer's number 2, Mullaferry Wall bills. I'm a neighbor.
Okay. Anything else? Okay, we just have one item to add on to the agenda, and it's the CAO treasurer's item number 6, the petition for drainage works by the owners to be added. Deputy Stockman, and seconded by Councillor Sanders. All those in favor? Opposed? And that's carried. And we have the minutes from the December 18th, 2017 regular meeting and the minutes of the January 15th, 2018 special meeting to be approved. Mover and seconder? Yeah. Councillor McKinnon, and seconded by Councillor Sanders. Is there any errors or omissions on those minutes? All those in favor? Opposed? And that's carried. Okay. So we'll go into the correspondence. The first one is from the Ministry of Natural Resources and Forestry, and it's the Bill 139 update. Item number 2 is from the Drinking Water Source Protection. It's the Water Act amendments. Item number 3 is the Drinking Water Source Protection, and it's the public input. I believe that's ending on February something. If we have any. What is either February 8th?
February 8th.
Yeah. Okay. Item number 4 is from the Solid Waste Field Conservation Authority, and it's the new manager, and then the next one is for the nominations form. Item number 6 is from St. Clair Region Conservation Authority, and it's the December 2017 meeting highlights. Item number 7 is the SWIFT update. Item 8 also from SWIFT, and it's the Farm Family Supports, which is the OFA. And then item number 9 is also from the County Middlesex regarding SWIFT, and it's the MAP report from December 2017. Councillor McKinnon?
Kilmartin isn't noted on there, and that's one of the areas that's really poor.
So,
Am I missing it? When I look at Adelaide walkers and down to Kilmartin, there's nothing.
yeah, and that's, so were you able to, did you send anything off to Morgan at all?
Or did I send it to you, Kathy? Did I send you anything? No. I will. To Morgan?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is the way they came up with the circles was based on input from the community, and also looking at kind of the areas where there's no fiber or not, or there's a need for it. So I know that Councillor Hendrick, she emailed in and just made some comments regarding, the kind of the idea was just to get to the last mile for all the farmers. The idea behind kind of the circles is it makes it so then those are the areas that may not be caught, or the areas that people have requested for businesses or large urban areas. And then most likely between those circles, there'll be also the fiber lines that go between them, so they'll be able to be caught on those areas. But
I know
yeah.
I couldn't use Rogers Wi-Fi because it couldn't bring enough strength in to the house.
Yeah.
But then once I went to Bell Mobility, because there's a Bell tower just a mile away,
Yeah.
then I could get it, but it doesn't give you a lot of.
Yeah.
So when is this going to happen?
We're not too sure.
No.
Well, in the next 10 years or?
Going on for
It's been going on for a
10
while.
or 15 maybe.
But the way that the agreement's done up between Middlesex County and Swift is that no money will be changing hands until they actually start any
Oh, I remember
projects.
that. Yeah, you were talking
Yeah.
about that earlier on. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Which is good.
Yeah.
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 Okay. No, because I know there's people asking, but
Any questions on that?
No, basically, like, okay, well, exactly, like, they put fiber in front of our place, and I gathered that, you know, like, from this, presentation, there's what, 20 some odd that qualified,
Yeah.
so, yeah, there's enough potential if the dollars are there, probably,
Yeah.
is probably what it comes down to.
Yeah.
That, like, those companies are gonna make business decisions based on, potential for return.
Yeah. And there's some areas, most likely not in Adelaide Metcalfe, but there's other areas in the county where there isn't circles on the map, which you think that there should be, but the reason they're not there is because there is a proposed project by those companies. So if there was that circle there, that would mean that those other companies that did have in on the RP or whatever the process is with Swift, they'd also be able to go in and put in another project. So it would just be competing with the company that was already going to be investing in that area. So, okay, if there's no more questions, we'll go on to item number 10, and it's from PowerTel Contractors, and it's the Hydro One updates. Item number 11 is from the Stratford Chamber of Commerce, and it's a survey. Item number 12 also from the Stratford Chamber of Commerce, and it's their news. And on that, just so you know, with the mayor and MP and MVP luncheon, I'm also invited to that as well. So on all updated information, I'll be also be attending and speaking at that.
Good.
The email is also the day they send it out, so it just got mixed in it. So
They're actually holding it in their municipality. They always say that Amy's is Strathroy.
yeah.
aren't you going at
This one is at the
there?
Paradox Sands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Carol's Sands, that's what I thought.
Number 13 is from BM Ross, and it's the Bear Creek Bridge Warwick in Warwick.
Yeah, why are we concerned with this are involved or?
It's the notification process. They're required to notify, because we share, the road is a shared county road. It goes over into the other municipalities, so they're required to notify everyone.
Okay.
And then if anybody gets a hold of you, now you can tell them what's going on.
Yep, I will.
And then item number 14 is from Amherstburg, and it's the Essex County Federation of Agriculture resolution.
I thought we should support it.
Wow, it's gonna happen anyway. I looked at this, I read it over, thought about it.
Maybe I shouldn't say it, but it's a moving target to Mr. Morneau's changes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
Either way,
I wasn't keen on it.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not keen on it, but I don't think we're gonna, even if we do support it, that will make a difference. But I have no problem
Doesn't
supporting
matter
it
one
either.
way or the other. It's Essex County, but
You know, that's exactly what I thought about it.
Okay, so we have a motion in front of us if somebody wants to move it and second it, but if not, we can just file it after we go through the rest of the correspondence.
if these two gentlemen would prefer not to, it doesn't matter to me.
You have to make the motion and invite the,
I'll
there
make
you
the
go.
motion.
She made the motion.
Moved by Councillor McKinnon, and do we have a seconder?
I'll move, I'll
Okay.
second.
Seconded by Councillor Sanders. Any further discussion? No? All those in favor? There we go. Opposed? And that's carried. Okay, and then item number 15, also from Amherstburg, and it's the Windsor Essex Health Unit Cannabis Resolution.
I struggled with that one.
Yeah, so what I was, yeah, so do I, but I mean, I don't think it's gonna concern Adelaide Metcalfe whatsoever, where they're gonna have the sites or places, but I think that's the whole program to start with. Initially I was, so, but obviously that's not gonna change, so. It doesn't really pertain to me regarding where they're gonna have the site, so I'll just, it's gonna happen and not that I want it, but
I can go for 5.
file it.
We'll just produce it.
Yes.
Item number 16 is from Lake Shore, and it's the infrastructure fund for flooding issues, and it's also a resolution.
I'm gonna support that one.
Yes.
Want to move that?
I'll move that.
Councillor Sanders, second by Councillor McKinnon. Any discussion on this one? All those in favor? Opposed? And that's carried. Just one question, I did jump over it pretty quickly. Do we have anybody we want to nominate for the Conservationalist of the Year for the Solid Waste Field Conservation Authority?
We've never done that before, have we?
I don't believe so.
Not in a while. There are some winners from the township. If you take a look, Adelaide Township actually won 1 year. And Dave Ball, actually go way back, Jim Reeve, or Range Lieutenant won. I don't know of anybody right offhand.
No.
Okay. And then we just need a motion to resolve that council receive and file correspondence items CC1 to 13
and CC 15.
and CC15. Deputy Mayor Stockman and Councillor Sanders. All those in favor? Opposed? And that's carried. So we'll go into our staff reports, and our first one is from our clerk, Jennifer.
Thank you, Mayor Smith. This is an update from the December 4th council meeting regarding our emergency response plan. On December 4th, I brought a draft plan with some changes and additions, deletions. Had met with our community emergency management coordinator Bettina and our alternate Aaron, and we went through the plan extensively, updating it. After coming here on December 4th, there were some other changes after talking with Kathy that there's a lot in the tabs that could come out and be part of the plan because there isn't any personal information contained in the tabs. So within the report, there's 13 additions that I've done to the plan, which, as you see, that it makes it quite a lengthy document. And there are minor financial implications with establishing the plan, such as staff time, copying the plan for council and staff, as well as purchase of miscellaneous supplies such as the binders and tabs, so that everybody gets a new binder when this is all completed. I'd like to propose that it come back to the February 20th council meeting for discussion, where we can review the changes and revisions and clarifications, and hopefully possibly pass it on the 20th for a third and final reading if council is in agreement with that.
I got to page 22. I realized it had grown since last time.
Yes.
I'll make that recommendation.
I'll second it.
Any discussion on that? All those in favor? Opposed? And that's carried. Do you have anything else?
No, that is it. Thank you.
Okay. Motion to resolve that council accepts the report of the clerk as presented. Deputy Stockman and Councillor McKinnon. All those in favor? Opposed? And that's carried. Next we have our CAO Treasurer's report. Kathy.
Thank you, Mayor Smith. Item number 1 is the accounts listing for the period December 15th to December 31st, 2017 in the amount of $192,369.36.
Is there any questions on those accounts? Councillor Sanders?
I have a few. Okay, on page, well, I just started here, gotta look. 2. Okay, to Sinclair Conservation, $200 for a drain review. Do we always have to have that to do a drain review?
Are you, what are you on?
Maybe on page 3.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
there are requirements when we're doing certain drains that they have to have a review done on.
Not all drains.
Not
certain
all drains, certain
Okay.
drains, yes.
That's
Depending on
it.
the classification and the extent of the work being proposed.
All right. I'm gonna be a while. Page, geez, I think it's 3. Curtis.
Yeah.
$682 for mileage. Do you get paid for going to the council meetings? Do we pay for it? Or does the county pay for you?
That,
You can go
if I
ahead.
may, the 682 was to go to the AMO conference in Ottawa, so that's reimbursing him for his mileage.
Oh, no wonder I thought the guy went out and went on a trip with somebody else.
No, the $486.40 is for miscellaneous mileage
Yeah.
for other
Yep.
meetings and events that he attended. The $300 is the 2 days of media training that he attended on behalf of the municipality through the emergency management plan. And the $600 is for other events and items that he attended throughout the year.
Good, thank you. That answers my question. Just wanted to double check, that's all. Not that I don't trust them. Okay, now, my next question is refunds. Who,
Yes.
is this for the year?
Some of them are for the year, some of them are because they've made a tax adjustment has been approved through MPAC. So we are obligated to provide those refunds or those adjustments back to those people.
So did Impact make an error before? Is that what we're looking at?
Those would be appeals of assessments, those that qualify
realize
for the
that's-
farm property tax class program. Some qualified for an adjustment based on the fact that they were overtaxed and they were eligible, and MPAC concurred with giving them a reduced assessment.
I can't believe it.
Some of the adjustments are for people that overpaid as well during the year through non-voluntary overpayment.
Okay.
So some people have sent in a check and then they send in another check. There's several of those there. Some of the higher ones are people that have sent in checks and then they've sent in a second check, so they've overpaid non-voluntarily.
Because I thought, boy, there's a lot of it. Somebody makes a lot of mistakes, but obviously that's
Most of these are based on what we get back from MPAC
okay.
throughout the year.
So they pay their originally, then we get reimbursed.
Right.
Okay, thank you. Next one. Mike's Auto. Do we get all our work done there? Mike's Auto Parts Inc.
MyCat, that is MyCat Auto, and that's the parts supply store.
That's where we get everything.
Yeah, but we get a lot of stuff there, yes, and that pretty much covers a whole year. We had a large credit at the beginning of the year because when you buy certain core pieces, we have to buy the piece, and then when we have we can take our old one back and get a refund, so we end up with a big credit. So then they hold back the invoices until we get past that credit, and then they send it out to us.
Okay, that answers my question, no problem. Now, I got one more, and then I'm done. Maze Excavating. Clean, garbage cleaner. Was it at the gate, or was it at the dump, or was it along
That was
the
at
road?
the Adelaide landfill.
Oh, that was at the Adelaide landfill, okay?
Yes.
Oh, that answers my questions, thank you.
Councilor Payne, any questions?
No.
Secretary Stockton?
The one on page 13, the new Mac, we're buying lights for it, or?
Yes. For it to go from the factory to Vikings to base, they had to purchase a couple of extra lights to go.
Oh, okay, like the snowplow lights.
Yes.
That,
Yeah,
the.
it's extra lighting.
The snowplow company doesn't put that on?
Right.
Ah.
It's to get it there.
Okay. And then, yeah, I had all the same ones that Gerald had as far as the refunds.
Yeah.
Like, the only one that I saw was the 2016 refund for Westcast.
Yes.
Like-
And that's the vacancy rebate program,
Mhm.
which
Yeah.
we participated in through the county. And because it was entirely vacant in 2016,
Right.
they're eligible for a 30% reduction on commercial and a 35% reduction on their industrial. And we're able to share that back through the county and the school boards.
Okay,
So the entire cost is not the municipal cost.
okay. And if I remember correctly, they were on last year, so that must have been for 15 then?
Yes, yes, they
Okay.
have until February of the year following to apply for the previous year.
Oh, okay. Okay. So for 17, it'll only be partial then?
Westcast did not own it in 2017, so the new owner would be able to apply for whatever portion was vacant during the year. It
Yeah,
has to be for a 90-day period, a consecutive 90-day period before they can be eligible.
okay.
Okay, that's all I had.
There's no more questions on those accounts. A motion to resolve the accounts listing for the period December 15th to December 31st, 2017 in the amount of $192,269.36 be approved.
So moved.
And seconded by Councillor Sanders. All those in favor? Opposed? And that's carried.
The second report is the accounts payable listing for the period January 1st, 2018 to January 18th, 2018 in the amount of $285,298.53.
Any questions on these accounts?
No.
So moved.
And seconder, Councillor Sanders. All those in favor? Opposed? And that's carried.
Item number 3 is in regards to animal control services. We were approached in December. Vicky Cobb from the Glencoe Animal Shelter has requested a 3% increase in the current annual rate, which constitutes an annual increase of $315.23. And right now, the dog tags are covering the expenses, and they should be able to absorb the $315 in the 2018 collections. And we're recommending that we approve the 3% annual rate increase.
I agree with giving the 3%. As Kathy pointed out, she is a valuable resource. But I wondered if we shouldn't put a little raise every year for her, so we're not looking at a 3%, we're looking at a 1 or whatever every year.
Yeah, she hasn't asked for an increase since 2012.
I know.
Yeah, that's
So
6
that would be
years.
up to her to,
Yeah.
we could negotiate something in her contract, but she's been operating and being able to control her expenses up to that point, so.
Well, she does a good job.
Yes.
Yeah, and as stated, that with minimum wage going up and everything like that, yeah.
No, I think she's very reasonable.
So moved.
And seconder, Deputy Stockman. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? And that's carried.
Item number 4 is in regards to some enhanced services we can get through Libro. They have come a long way in their commercial banking services, and one of them is a commercial remote deposit capture. We will increase our monthly service fee to $35 per month, and we will have to buy a check scanner, but it also means that we won't have to leave the office to make a bank deposit unless there is cash. So that's going to greatly improve efficiency, and it'll be help with the mileage costs, and we'll be able to be more efficient getting them in faster and not having to sacrifice someone going to the bank and taking an hour or an hour and a half out of their day. And high days when it's tax day, we'll be able to process those batches quickly, and it'll greatly improve our speed here. The other part is the commercial online banking, and it's a new secure process where we can do all of our online banking. Instead of having to write a check for our monthly amounts, we'll be able to go online and make those payments. And what happened is the 2 signatures, if I initiate it, then someone who is the counter signature will have to go online and verify that it's okay to make that payment. So it won't be down to a single person, it'll still require the 2 signatures, so it'll still have to be signed off by the other 2 on the signing authorities, so that will happen. So we still have that cover over that, we're not just unilaterally being writing checks. And the fee for that service is $30 a month, but I do think that both of them will be far more beneficial being able to do it that way. than writing a check and having someone come in and sign it.
So for 95 or 60?
For 65 more a month, we get both of those services. We pay $10 a month right now for our banking services, so we're still going to be under $100 a month for those services.
And then Kathy, what happens to I pay by check? What happens to my check?
We just keep it here on file. It
For
just
how many
we
years?
7.
7?
Yes. Yeah, that's what we currently do with our deposits. So instead of it going to the bank and going in there, we'll just keep it here for the 7 years, and then it'll be shredded or destroyed otherwise.
Any other questions?
No, I think it's the way things are going.
Yeah.
But the only remark I like to make, but the TV is on. If we keep updating everything the way we are, pretty soon we can eliminate one of you ladies again. Because this is gonna save a lot of time, that's saving us a lot of time.
It'll save time, but it'll save in the staff time and someone leaving to have to go to the bank. We're still gonna have to do all of the same processes. It just will not have that one extra step where we have to take it physically, that hour to go to town and come back.
Okay.
So that's the portion that we're going to save. We still have most of our tax payments still come by check, so we'll still be processing a lot of checks. So, but instead of having to take
I thought
6 or 8 deposits,
you know, you
yeah.
took it serious.
no. I don't see that we're going to eliminate a person, but it will help to make sure that our staff coverage is much
Do
better.
something else, right?
Yeah.
Thank
Get
you.
more things done in that 1 hour.
That's right. Yes.
Okay, so we need a motion to resolve that council authorize the CAO treasurer to proceed with the implementation of Libro commercial remote deposit capture and Libro commercial online banking.
I'll move.
Okay, and seconder? Okay, Councilor McKinnon, all those in favor? Opposed? And that's carried.
Yeah.
So the next item is a report on our school road landfill. We had a site inspection report done in November of 2017 by Krista Lee Johnson, Senior Environmental Officer of the MOECC. Public Works Manager Jeff Little and retired road supervisor Eldon Bryant were also in attendance for that meeting. I have provided you with a copy of the report, which was dated December the 13th, 2017. So you can see we do have 3 items that we need to address through this report. The first one is being that the well OW 181 needs to be looked at and possibly be fixed. There must be some leakage or something with that well, so we need to get it fixed. Item number 2 is in regards to the groundwater near well OW2R15. And again, there could be potential leachate impacts there, and they're asking that we investigate and have a look at what's going on there. And they also wanted to know about our coverage and how often we cover the garbage that's taken to the landfill site. We have the records of when it was covered over and cover put on it. In order to meet the January 29th deadline imposed by the MOECC, we contacted GHD, formerly Conestoga Rovers, who have been doing the annual reports at the landfill and have been out there. They were able to and have advised that they would be able to get a report ready for the deadline on the 29th, and the cost of the initial work is $2,500. But they'll get a report ready and send it in, and then we'll send it off to the ministry for the timeline for the 29th, and then we will also get some numbers from them to find out what we will need to do and spend at the landfill to rectify the situation out there with the 2 wells.
I don't think we have a lot of choice.
No, unfortunately, we don't. We need to look after it. So,
That's right.
so because our meeting on the 8th was canceled, we went ahead and asked to do at least the minimum report required so that we can get in with the deadline, and then we'll have the report come back and bring it to council for review. And then as part of this, we also want to, we haven't had an official document or a contract with the contractor who's been doing the landfill covering. They're just going out there and they cover it afterwards. And it has been noted in the last few inspections, and I did go through our reports, and we have been failing to cover it in a timely manner as required by the OREG. So we are going to draft up the tender document so that it's done within the specific time, so we're meeting the criteria of the ministry.
Yeah. Yeah, because we don't want to be getting into problems with MOE.
No. So one question, did they do an inspection at Metcalfe also?
No, they did not.
Oh.
No, they only did the Adelaide one at this time.
Okay.
Yes.
They're gonna do an inspection there also?
They have not mentioned it, and I think it's because of the wells and the leachate and everything, and I think it's because of what is there in the ground today that we have to be a little bit more careful of. So
Okay.
it does flow out. The one well does end up in drainage ditch, so we want to make sure that it's looked after as soon as possible this year.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep, Commissioner Stockman.
Just doing some further thinking. Right now, it's open first Saturday for general, and then every Wednesday, Blue Water dumps there. We're looking at the potential for wheelie bins. What about taking the Blue Water stuff to Twin Creeks? What would be the cost involved there, so that we could extend the life of, like, with Saturday only, and then you'd only have to cover once.
Yes.
Whereas, now we have to cover basically 4 or 5 times.
4 to 5 times a month.
Yeah.
Jeff Little and I have been discussing that, and so as soon as we get the January 29th deadline satisfied, then we're gonna look at some options and see if there is a better way to manage the landfill. Whether it be, because they do know that we have less than 5 years left there. So we do need to look at whether we're managing it properly, and is there a better way to handle it, so that we're meeting all of the overrides, and we're also not going to find that we have only 2.5 to 3 years left, and maybe we can get a few extra years out of the life of the landfill. And whether the cost to take it to Twin Creeks is going to offset the cost that we would have to put into it to have it covered and looked after.
Because as well, I think in the auditor's report, isn't it 2025 that they figure
Yes.
our life is?
Yes.
And here we're talking 21.
Yes.
21.
So yeah, we only have about 3 to 5 years left, so we do need to look at it seriously and just say, how are we going to manage it so it's the best and most efficient method. So.
And I do think too that, there is a place, there needs to be a place where we can take stuff that we don't put into the
Right, yeah.
the garbage.
What
Yes.
taking away at your curbside, we need to be able to deal with that as well.
Yeah.
And so that's where if we can extend the life of the landfill,
Yeah.
possibly by diverting it elsewhere, the garbage, we may be able to keep it open for a little bit longer and be able to use it for the large item, which is difficult to dispose of in
Yeah.
most cases.
Yeah,
Councilor Bennett?
Is Twin Creeks Watford?
Yeah.
or-
Yes.
Okay. That was my question, if we could sort of come to terms with them. But also, there's companies out there that mine these old landfills, and they'll go in and recapture a lot of methane gas and take it away, actually. They'll go in and take everything. So we might want to look at that avenue as well.
What it would be was Blue Water Recycling would do the negotiating with Twin Creeks. We have our contract with Blue Water, so they would look after making sure it got there and what the extra cost would be, so.
Because if you look at the pictures, it's Blue Water that we're not covering and getting into problems with,
Mhm.
as Nick said.
Yes.
Any other questions? Just one question for myself with kind of regards with the wheelie bins. What are we kind of looking at for timeline as to a report coming back from that, and what are we looking at for if we do?
It will be part and parcel of reviewing all of it. Now that we know what we have to do there, we're gonna have some more prices. Like right now, we just have an hourly price, and there's no time commitment or no factors in there on how often they have to do it. So once we have some more idea of what it's going to actually cost us per year, then we'll be able to bring back a more educated information on the actual wheelie bins and whether they're beneficial or not.
Okay, so we have the 3 recommendations there. The first one is to receive the letter from the Ministry of Environment and Climate Change. Secretary Stockman, and seconded by Councillor Sanders. All those in favor? Opposed? And that's carried. Next one is to resolve that council accepts the estimate of the 2,500 from GHD to proceed with the initial assessment of OW181 and OW2R15 at the School Road Adelaide landfill, and proceed and to provide written comment or written recommendation with timeline to be filled with the township by January 29th, 2018.
I'll move.
Councillor Sanders,
Second.
seconded by Councillor McKinnon. All those in favor? Opposed? And that's carried. And the last one is resolved that council directs staff to prepare a tender for the contract work at the School Road landfill and the Callan Road landfill with specific guidelines to meet the requirements of the Ontario Reg 347 for cover materials.
So moved.
Okay, Councillor McKinnon and Deputy Stockman. All those in favor? Opposed? And that's carried.
This item is the petition for drainage works, which was added tonight to the township agenda. There were 2 petitions received in December. One is for lots 14 and 15, concession 1, NER, and the other one is for lots 22 and 23, concession 13. And it's being recommended that they be forwarded to Street Associates to determine the validity of the petitions.
Any questions?
Yeah, I got one here. Red XX, where existing meetings, private drainage, but I don't see a red X. Not that it matters. Needs a new green, but I just wonder.
Oh, it would be the dark red line, the dark line across there.
Oh, okay, that's where the existing one is?
Yes.
Okay, yep.
Okay, so mover and seconder for the first one, which is lots 14 and 15, concession 1, NER.
I'll move.
Okay, Councillor Sanders and Deputy Stockman. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. And the next one is the lots 22 and 23, concession 13. Deputy Stockman and seconded by Councillor Sanders. All those in favor? Opposed? And that's carried. Anything else, Kathy?
No.
Okay. Is there any questions for Kathy at all? Deputy Stockman?
Well, we're talking drainage. Last fall, we did 4 or 5 drains. When are we going to be seeing tenders on that? Because the longer we wait, the longer it takes and stuff
Yeah,
like
the
that.
tenders are
I
now
see
ready.
in the accounts that we've already paid for the culverts on Pike Road.
Yes.
So
Yes, and that was, Eldon had ordered
Yeah.
those separate, so we have the documents now. We did have to make the modifications because Eldon went ahead and ordered the pipes, and the documents that came in had the pipes included to be ordered, so we had to, there was 2 of them that we had to fix up and get them done, so they're ready to go out now.
Councillor Payne?
And our next meeting, February 5th, will we have a current up-to-date financial picture for council?
Councillor Sanders?
When is our big party for Eldon?
February 7th.
There you go.
Thank you.
Is that emailed out? Or-
Not yet.
Where's it gonna be?
At the Duke, or not the Duke, the clock tower.
Yes.
Is that what it's called? Clock tower?
Yes.
Okay, any other questions?
No, we're gonna have a meeting, yeah, we got that figured out already. Yep, that's it for me.
And then just going back to Deputy Mayor Stockman's comment with drainage, I think down the road from your place, some people should be happy that the hay drain seems to be started.
Equipment.
So it's been a long time coming, I think. So I
Yeah,
think
it's a
some-
long time coming, but they're there.
Yeah.
Hopefully they won't be working tomorrow in the mud. Hopefully that'll freeze up or else it'll be a mess. They probably won't. So, and my question is, because, well, I'm not really, my question is, well, Mr. Reeves, our drainage superintendent was there, and he said, I says, well, if he doesn't, if you guys think if it's too wet or too muddy, you should call Mr. Reese, because he's the drainage superintendent, and he's the one that should call the shots. By saying either you work or you don't work, or, you know, I mean, there's a time that you can say, hey, no, I don't think so. Because Jim Reese says to Mike, they were having a roadside meeting with Lug Boys, and everyone be okay. I says, no, I said to Mike, if there's a problem, if you call Mr. Reese, that's his job. Because we don't see our drainage superintendent at a meeting very often. To know and see what's going on, I have no idea. And that's fine, as long as everything is good, but I would like to see him out maybe a little more often, explain what he's doing, what we're doing, how many drains, or, you know, it would be kind of interesting.
He'll actually be here on the 20th, the February 20th meeting. There is a drain on that meeting, so he's going to bring his report when there's a drain
But
on the
even if
meeting.
he didn't have a drain, it wouldn't hurt if he came in and updated us on a few things once in a while. I was drainage superintendent, I've been for 10 years in Metcalfe, I never missed a meeting, hardly. And we hardly ever see Jim. Not saying he's not doing a good job.
In his agreement, is every, what is it?
Once a year.
Okay, so it's once a year. In his agreement that we have with him, it's once a year that he has to have a report.
Oh, that's all? Okay.
So we do need a motion still to resolve that council accepts the report of the CAO treasurer as presented. Councilor Pinnon and Deputy Mayor Stockman, all those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Now we can talk about other business. Thought we already jumped into it, that's why. Is there anything for other business? Deputy Mayor Stockman?
Just a couple of things. I did go to that Alice meeting, Alternative Land Use Services. There's only two of us, two elected people there, Joanne Van Reyden and myself. Basically what that committee is looking for is commitment from a elected official from the county. So, you know, whether that's at lower tier or at upper tier, and one representative from staff, you know, whether that's lower tier or upper tier. So my suggestion to them was that they make a presentation at Middlesex Municipal Day, where both county and all of, or a fair number of lower tier elected would be, and see if they could get people from that. I'm not really interested in being that person, because I've got enough stuff and yeah, it's not really what I was looking for. And the second thing, and Curtis went to that as well, was the fire department supper. As usual, always excellent. Number of awards given out. I can't remember exactly all of them. You'll have to ask Aaron who got, you know, the 25 or something like that. One thing that was kind of nice, and it was something that the firefighters had noticed when they went to the funeral for the Brooke Alvingston firefighter.
Jim Hader.
Yeah. All the firefighters on there, or some of the firefighters on their suits, have a Maltese cross for every 5 years.
Yeah.
So all the firefighters here got them now for their suit as well. So basically then, you know, they go to an event, they can see right away how many years of service on a 5-year interval.
Yeah.
So that was Dan Parker, Deputy Chief, handed them out. And as well, remember, I think it was about 1.5 years ago, Aaron asked for the junior firefighters. And they've all moved up now into working with the department for the things they're trained for.
Yeah.
2 of them are actually taking you know, firefighter stuff at Lambton College, so they may or may not stay here. But the other 2, actually, one of them is 4th generation already.
Yep.
So it was good to see. Yeah, it was a good evening.
Anything else for other business?
Because you were talking about the crosses, yeah, where Jimmy came in the next day with his suit and his.
Yeah.
And it said, Andy, can you sew them on there for me? So that's how I knew I was going to know. And he got his 30-year pin because you had presented him with the pin.
Yeah.
He's been 30 years already.
Yeah, and that's between two departments too.
Yes.
That's when he works at Hayter's, he's on call for Brooke Alvingston,
Yeah.
and when he's home, he's on call for.
So he started quite young. With Alston, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
He said it was a really good night.
you take a look at Dan Bolton.
Yeah.
You know, like that's fourth generation.
Yep.
David his father, Richard his grandfather, and then I'm assuming I don't know the name of Richard.
Yeah, Richard's dad was a fireman.
Yeah, and even the young Tominga, that's second, and there have been other ones as well that were involved in that. So, and then the Huizinga, his grandfather Ed Reitsma was on. So.
Yeah. Yeah, Earl Bolton and Richard and Dave and now, yeah, that's right.
Councilor Payne?
Have we thought anything further from the public meeting here in regards to the servicing agreement with Strathroy Caradoc? And have we received anything from those that participated in the public meeting?
We've received lots of comments, yes,
Okay.
and they'll be summarized after Friday and on the next agenda.
So February 5th?
Yes, February 5th, yes.
Do we receive the lots?
I think just one thing that I think Betty Ann's kind of asking about is the timeline of when, is it too late by the next meeting to then have a motion to request to Strathroy Caradoc, or would we be able to have a motion tonight? I think that's kind of what you're indicating.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we didn't have it on our agenda, so we didn't have
Okay.
any discussion going to be on it tonight. So the next, what we told the public was it'd be on the 5th, so we have to make our decisions on the 5th.
Is there anything else for other business? I just had one item, well I had two. Nick covered the fire department road site very well. The other one in regards to this, the winter storm that we had 2 weeks ago. I had some discussion with Kathy about this as well, and just with the reception center that was opened up in Strathroy Caradoc and kind of communication, it also got brought up at county council, which is kind of the communication of the OPP and the road department, I'm sure everybody knows and on the same page. And I think with that, when the whole event was happening, I was talking to Kathy about it. And hopefully, I'm not sure if we have anything set up yet, but there'll be a meeting set up between myself and Kathy and the CAO and the mayor of Strathroy Caradoc to discuss kind of the procedures that should happen if there is a road closure and if there are people stranded at Tim Hortons, because it's hard for the 402 is closed, it goes through Adelaide Metcalfe, people are stranded in Adelaide Metcalfe at the Tim Hortons or wherever they would be. But really the warming or the reception center is happening in Strathroy Caradoc. And then you have the Strathroy Caradoc Police here, the OPP, and it's a lot of bodies, and the communication has to be there, and we have to all know what's going on. So there'll be hopefully a meeting set up in the near future, so then if and most likely when that happens again, everybody knows what their jobs are and what's all going on.
Yeah, I'd like to add a little to that. If we get like, for instance, Strathroy, they supply the building, the people, and all this. Now, wonder sometimes maybe we should actually help and support them a little bit when that happens, because they're taking all the expenses, and now it's just people, coming through our township. Or if there's a time that if we needed something, we go to the fire hall and crew it. But to me, if they're going to do it, and they're going to do it there, we should, I think, support them somewhat, somewhere.
Senator Stockman?
And just related to all the roads and road closures and stuff like that, I have talked to Kathy on this already, but I want to say it in public that, and I think Mary Ann did also put it in her email, I've been getting a lot of positive comments on the maintenance of the road in Adelaide Metcalfe this winter. From professional drivers that are saying, you know, Adelaide Metcalfe is doing an excellent job. And there's one, the one in particular was really disappointed in the county. He comes from Bedford and takes number 7. And there have been different times that he said that road was terrible. And plows were in the trash at the end of the Kerwood Road. Now, I did hear at supper that 3 of them were broke down too. But no, we're getting different comments on, you know, the quality of the work and how well the roads were maintained during the snow events.
Yeah, they were, at least our road was, and I'm with you, I've heard people say that, and they've done a really good job. And hopefully our budget is big enough to continue on. It'll have to be, but they did, yeah, they did. I can't, only one of the counties, the Kerwood Road, and it's always been good for me. And then the Melbourne Road, I'll call it, but maybe different roads in different situations.
Well,
And it was actually Bert Smith that was telling me. And
But it works for the county.
Bert works for the county, and Bert says Kerwood Road is his territory, so.
Oh, because it's always good.
But he said he's had lots of overtime collected.
Yeah, well, there was a lot of, yeah. This kind of winter, that's the way it is.
80's been good for me all winter.
I think this part of the township didn't get hit as hard as this section.
Yeah.
So,
No.
yeah.
Well, that's Strathroy and you dig up. Oh, yeah. No.
Okay. Is there anything else for other business? Just one other thing, just thinking ahead. Kathy, do you have any ideas for budget and all that kind of stuff? We're going to have special meetings or?
Yes, nothing confirmed yet. I know Jeff Little was looking at it, but he's just been busy keeping the roads going. So as soon as he has some time to sit down, we're going to go over last year's numbers and see where we're at for what happened and going forward what he wants to see for this year.
Excellent. Okay. There's nothing else. We have 3 bylaws. Resolved that all 3 readings be given to bylaw number 1, 2018, the interim tax levy, and then bylaw number 2, which is the appointment of the committee of adjustment, and the third one is the confirmed council proceedings, and that the bylaws be signed by the mayor and clerk, and the corporate seal be attached. Deputy Mayor Stockman and Councilor Sanders. All those in favor? Opposed and carried. And the last one is resolved that the meeting be adjourned at 7:53 p.m. Deputy Mayor Stockman and Councilor McKinnon. All those in favor?
I wanted to make sure she wasn't asleep.
She was writing something. All those in favor?
I'm busy.
Opposed? And there's enough hands. Carried.